Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our pitch event. This is number 28 episode. We are very happy to almost reach 30. Today, we have been launching our first event in Asia for founders coming from Asia. Also, because the main issue was the time zone. So now even founders coming from all Asia, Middle East, and of course Southeast Asia and Pacific can come to pitch on Equity Match. Today, we are pitching at 5 p.m. UK time, and we are bringing again four great Danish founders. And I'm very happy to introduce our pitch event with our guest. Our investor guest is Elio Asuncao, Venture Capital World Summit. How's it going, Elio? Welcome again.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure, Elio. If you want to give an introduction to yourself, and please.
Okay, I've been running investment events. We have a large investor network and we run events all around the world. And we are agnostic in terms of the investments that our investors make. So we have a lot of understanding different markets, different niches, and a lot of stages between how the companies grow and seek investments. So that's the experience I can bring in today for the event.
Thank you, Elio. Elio will be making questions Q&A after any end of pitch. Why we bring one investor per time? We bring an investor because we want investors and helping founder to better show their startup. That's why we have this 5 minutes Q&A after any 5 minutes pitch. So I'm not going to waste any time. We have only 1 hour, and who speaks is the founder, are the founders, and not myself. So I would like to bring Adam Silvander, co-founder of Gova. Gova is headquartered in Finland. Adam comes from Denmark, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
Sector is food and beverage, food tech, food service, and B2B as business model. Seed around 1.1 million SEK in euro. How's it going, Adam?
It's going great. Nice to meet you guys.
My pleasure having you with us today. Please
Yeah.
give a short introduce yourself, and that goes straight to Gova.
Yeah, well, I'm from Copenhagen. My co-founder and the inventor of the product is from Finland. That's why we are Finnish established. And I have a background in the FMCG industry, and that kind of led to me working together with my co-founder, which is a chemical engineer, to develop this product. And that's also how we complement each other. So jumping straight to our pitch. So Gova is a B2B food tech company that had developed a natural sweetener that makes sugar-free products healthier, tastier, and more natural without all the side effects. So the big problem both for consumers and companies is making sugar-free products that has this sugary mouthfeel. They have a long shelf life. There's also some digestive upset, some issues where you can get bloated when you intake a large amount of sugar-free products. And there's also the perception of like, what are these different sweeteners that are used in sugar-free products? What is xylitol? What is erythritol? What is maltitol? So there's a lot of confusion from the consumers. And this is a big problem for big companies making all these new sugar-free products that taste amazing and convince consumers that they should transition from traditional to sugar-free products. So we solved this through innovation. We have 2 patents pending. We have solved the issues of crystallization that happens when a sweetener goes up in a high temperature or in a very low temperature. So we have developed a sweetener that we took the most difficult sweetener called erythritol. And the reason it's difficult to work with is because it's a sensitivity. So it crystallizes very easily. And we have solved this through our technology. So we took the most beneficial sweetener with kind of these small challenges and side effects, and we solved that. So we have a very distinctive market positioning. The thing about our sweetener is it's very versatile. So if you have like xylitol is often used for chewing gums and ice creams, and you have maltitol, it's often for chocolate. But the sweetener that we have developed is extremely versatile. And that means it both can be used for the syrup industry, the ice cream industry, soft drinks, etc. And it's 0 calories. And that's why when you have a good invention, you need to see like, is there a good market for this? But not only is the global sweetener market growing immensely, but also the erythritol market, which is our raw ingredients, and also the stevia market. So we see that the global sweetener market is growing, but that is due to the demand for more sugar-free products. There's more health concerns than ever before in providing consumers with something healthy. And we also see that there's come increasing taxations on, let's say, soft drinks as an example. So sugar is becoming more expensive, and it's becoming more beneficial to source. Actually, it's quite cost efficient to source these natural sweeteners. And we have a lot of different competitors, but they're working very much with proteins and enzyme technology and all these different kinds of sweeteners that you can use. They don't have the mouthfeel of a sweetener. They don't have this sugary feeling, this texture of something that tastes like a sugary product, but actually natural. So they are our competitors, but they're working with kind of different product. So our business model is a B2B model where we sell our sweetener to these massive clients. Right now, we have acquired 3 clients from Finland, from Denmark, and from Sweden that are already interested in buying our product when it's finalized. So we will sell high volume. We will do it very customized. So the switching cost for our clients is very high because we customize our sweetener to the specific products that they want to develop or launch. And we're also having a very strong focus on the IPR protection because of the strong innovation. So a roadmap is 12 to 15 months, and this is why we need funding to develop and customize our product to the market. And we also have a go-to-market strategy. I'm not going to go much into that, but that's how we're going to acquire clients, when, and what industries. So we are seeking 1.1 million, and the reason is that it's for the entire roadmap and executing our roadmap and including our piloting. So when we have these clients already on board, we already know the quotations. They already told us what the volume will be. Then we will build our first production, our first batch for these specific clients when the development phase is over, and then make sure that we can serve their needs. And then at a later stage, it will probably require that we get some more funding in, but this will cover basically everything to suffice our clients' requirements. So our team is extremely strong. I think everyone would say that. But when it comes to the product itself, we have acquired some of the best professors that is in Finland, from Helsinki, and also university when it comes to food technology and it comes to all kinds of applied science. We have a study together with KU Leuven, Belgium University, with a PhD researcher in erythritol. We have a super strong team with our patent agent, a strategic marketing director, which is also a strong executive. She knows how to build a company. And then we have all these kinds of different advisors, which will be situational. So when we have to do a licensing agreement, we have a licensing expert to do that. And we have all these different kinds of food chemists and food scientists to help us develop the product. And the funding will go also specifically to hire a chemical analyst, a food scientist, a laborant, among other things. That's it.
Thank you so much, Adam.
Yeah.
Elliot, if you want to follow up.
Sure. Okay. Do you already have funding? And if so, how much have you raised? Or was it family and friends? Or
no, we don't have any funding yet. So we are looking now very comprehensively. We are pitching for a lot of different international VCs. And there's a lot of interest in our company. We have received investment offers from investors, but have to reject it because it wasn't in the amount that we were looking for. So the interest has been very strong, and I think it will probably be hopefully within the next couple of months, so we can execute our roadmap.
But how do you run the company at the moment? Do you have self-funding? How do you keep the company going?
Yeah, this is self-funding. This is savings. So I'm full-time in Copenhagen. My co-founder is full-time in a startup, and then she's working with me. And once we get funding, we're going to get her full-time as well.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's your ideal scenario for investment? What would
our ideal scenario is to we find investors that has some internationalization experience. They know how to to expand a product to several markets, they need to have some understanding of the food tech industry, some understanding of food technology would be very beneficial. But they need to know how to scale a company because our clients are international from the get-go. So that means that we need to know someone that has a little bit added value beyond the funding. That's very important for us.
Okay, thank you.
Adam, I want to follow up with a couple of questions. The first
Yes.
one is production. You are tackling what you're doing is extremely great. I've been educated all my life. Sugar is wrong. I don't use
Yeah.
sugar. Well, I'm talking about having a coffee with sugar, or I don't use sugar for anything. But so many companies need sugar. Coca-Cola without sugar will be dead, and so many others companies.
Yeah.
I met huge guys, a huge entrepreneur in Argentina. He was just sending sugar to Coca-Cola and be a billionaire. But again,
Yeah.
I've been educated by sugar be totally wrong because so much in terms of chemicals when they cut it. Right now, you go to mass production because
Mm.
you are B2B business
Yeah.
model. How do you tackle
Yeah.
it using so much for companies that use so much sugar?
Sorry, can you say again?
How do you produce when it comes to giving
Yeah.
sugar to a very mass users? Because this company they use a lot of sugar, not just a little bit.
Yeah, well, our product is very simple to make. Actually, it consists of three ingredients: or erythritol, then water, and then something else. So it's very easy to scale up. Actually, it's very easy to build a large production. The thing is that the part of the funding will be the piloting stage, and we will be able to serve the requirements of the clients. We already know specific volumes, so it's a very easy product to make, and that's why we're also very focused on our patent. Like if you compare to other stevia or protein, all kinds of these sweeteners, they're very complicated to make. They require a laboratory. They require very capital intensive equipment. So our product is straightforward. It's quite easily to scale it up. It will be ready in a couple of months. The reason that we have a 12-month roadmap is you have to test. We have to test the shelf life because that's a requirement from our clients. But we will be able to scale up our production quite easily in the perfect scenario.
In terms of pricing,
Yeah, the pricing it costs us approximately €2.20 to make a liter of a sweetener, and our clients they're willing to pay up to €3.50 a liter. So it's actually a very good price that we are getting offered, and they understand also the costs and the risk that we are having. But the thing is, if you compare erythritol with other kinds of raw materials, sweeteners, xylitol, maltitol, and all that, it's extremely cost efficient and it's very easy to source. It's very low price. And it's because of the interest in erythritol, but also it doesn't require that much. It's a natural product. It comes from fruits. It comes from plants. The process of producing erythritol is very easy and straightforward. So it's very cost efficient, which is very important when you make a sugar-free product, because you have to compare a sweetener with sugar, and sugar is of course cheaper. That's also an obstacle for sugar-free products, but at least ours is very competitive compared to others.
thank you, Adam. We can talk more because we have a limited time, but you're doing something great. Thank you. Stay with us. Don't go away. Thank you so much. I'm
Thanks.
bringing our next founder, Patricia Kojakowska, founder of Catch Me, Warsaw, Poland. Esport Web3 platform marketplace seeking 100,000 Grand Britain pound and in pre-seed round. How's it going, Patricia?
Hello, hi everyone. Okay, so grateful to be here today with you guys. As you see, I'm Patricia. I'm a co-founder of Catch Me, and currently I do help two other startups grow. And I'm also involved in some other business activities. That's why I decided to combine my passion, my skills, and some further vision I do have. And that's why we created Catch Me. So, okay, guys, let's start. Let's imagine that you are back in high school. You are a top performer, you are a top athlete, and you just finished your national championship. You are ready for your next challenge going abroad. So basically, you know that the world is waiting for you. And this is true because the world can be yours. But then reality comes, and your parents cannot afford your further training. And my co-founder, business partner, co-founder of CatchMe, faced that issue. So she cannot train and cannot go abroad. And that situation won't happen if she will have CatchMe. Here you have just a slight overview of the headlines saying and indicated that money are the significant issue across the whole world and impact the whole athlete development. How we can solve that issue? With CatchMe, we monetize sport talents. Simply like that. How? We create a sport circular environment to monetize sport talents and allowing those potentials to enter the pro market with the group of already engaged and loyal fans. How? 4 pillars. First is the crowdfunding. Second one is the personal brand monetization, marketplace, and live engagement. As I said, we created an environment, meaning that CatchMe is the multi-user platform. So we would like to give people an equal access to the chance across the world. But now you can ask me, how is this possible to have that equal access to even to the chance when I would like to, for example, support so young athlete in the Africa? Then bank commission fees will just kill the whole donation and my money can stack somewhere. That's true. That's why CatchMe solution will be based on a blockchain, so we can stick with our vision and focus to be transparent, to be almost costless in those transactions, to be fast and efficient, and to provide new forms of fun engagement. Okay, so that's all about our vision. Let's focus on some facts. Firstly, why now? I'm pretty sure that most of you will agree that to make startup profitable, we need to catch the momentum. And for CatchMe, the time is now. Firstly, because of that crazy sport market value, and that number is still growing. Second of all, because of the change of fan expectations. Finally, because we did our market validation. We're after conversation with the world's top performers. So you can see the top athletes here, and also we do have some mentorship supportment from the world giant, which is Flutter. Also, our aim is to become a global leader in the next 5 to 7 years. However, we are also realistic. That's why we want to access the market starting from 2 countries, which are Poland and the UK, and approaching volleyball, track and field, and the esport athletes. The second part of our expansion would cover entering the US market and how we will make money. 2 revenue streams. First, from the subscription. Of course, at the beginning, the free access to the user to acquire them. Later, just the slight subscription of £9.95. And the second pillar of the revenue stream would be transaction fee. Still competitive on the market because that would be around 3% of each transaction taken from the supporter, not from the athletes, because we do take athletes first. How we in CatchMe think that this is even doable? Firstly, because we do have some competitors in the market. Those are basically 2 groups of the competitors. First are the traditional sport marketing agencies, and second, those are the applications which already exist. And also, we think that it's possible because there are 2 of us, 2 committed co-founders with the different skill sets. And we strongly believe that once the why is strong enough, then how becomes pretty possible. That's why we are asking right now for the £100,000 investment to create an MVP, prove the traction, show the demand, and together change the sport industry. If you are interested in that, you can just scan the QR code in here, join CatchMe family, and grow with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Elio, please.
Well, thank you for the presentation. I was trying to find the website, but now I realize that Catch Me is not the web domain. It's .tech, I believe.
Yes,
So
exactly.
yeah, so
The
that was a bit
first domain was honestly was pretty expensive and costed cost of the domain catch that me was more than our investment we are looking for.
yeah, but it can be a bit confusing because if you promote
Mm,
that and if you don't have the domain, it can be. But
fully
yes,
agree.
sure. And what would be your calculation? How much would it cost you for acquire one user subscription, for example?
Mhm.
Have you calculated that? How
Yes,
much would?
yes. Yes, firstly, regarding that MVP, we calculated that we don't want cost, we don't want, of course, it's, everything will show up. The MVP will prove that. However, our calculation proved that we don't want to user acquiring cost more than $50 per one users per one user.
Okay, and that would be through advertising or partners or?
That would go through the online advertising, so social media groups, and also at attending the real life events when we can find those potentials. So basically, our targeted group.
Okay. And how much would you calculate that normally subscription models, people after a year they drop, they don't always renew subscriptions. So on average, sometimes, it could be 50% of projected growth. What would be your projection for your company? Do you expect to maintain 100% subscriptions every year or
No, basically,
no?
as I said, we put athletes first, and if we would see some increasing of the prices, then we will see more increasing of the transaction fee for the supporter, because that 3% is still competitive on the market, comparing, for example, with the marketing fee or the competitors. So even the increase from 3, for example, to 5%, that would be we will see that and feel in Catch Me, and that won't be that it won't be too complicated to bring that to the table, and won't cause that issue for the supporter.
Okay. One final question, because 100,000, and if you just said that domain is expensive, it doesn't sound a lot for the ambition that you have.
Mhm.
Do you think that's a reasonable number?
Yes, this is reasonable number, because firstly we want to build an MVP, and we are aimed to launch an MVP in the next 3 months. Whenever whatever getting the funding or not, the funding is needed mostly, as you can see here, for the marketing, for the user acquisition, and also for funders to fully focus on working on the project. But buying a domain isn't the goal at the moment. Of course, later, once proving that the product is needed on the market, it fits the market, then we can go for buying a domain and become a global leader. But firstly, let's focus on the small tasks, prove that the market needed that solution, and later we can think about the domain.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Patricia, let me ask you just one question. What's going to be in building your MVP, the user journey of the athlete and the sponsor that they want to be on your platform?
Mhm.
If you're a sponsor and coming to your platform, what should you do?
It depends, because we see two groups of the sponsors. You can be individual sponsor, or you can be the company. Anyway, you need to register on our website. I mean, the application. However, starting with the MVP, most probably that would be the website. And later you can find the athletes from your local environment and support them. If you're the company, then you can advertise your local business, and of course getting an access to the exclusive community of the fans, because every single supporter, so individual or the company, is after donation is getting to the exclusive group of fans, when later on can get some benefits from supporting those talents.
When it comes to athletes,
Sorry?
when it comes to the athletes,
When it comes to the athletes, you create a profile and you can merge your existing social media uh, within our platform. And then you can just, yeah.
thank you,
Would you be
Patricia. Stay with us. Don't go. We come back soon. Thank you so much.
Thank
We are
you.
moving to our next founder, Klaus Steiner, founder
Yes,
of
hello.
Idol Ltd, Zug, Switzerland. Metaverse deep tech seed around USD 1.6 million. How's it going, Cloud?
Going good, thank you, Max.
Thank you for
So,
coming.
thank you for being here. Let me quickly give you an overview who I am, what the company is doing. My name is Claude Steiner. I'm the founder of Aedon. We are located in Switzerland, and my background is software engineering, 20 years plus project management in software engineering and product management, and got the idea to start our own company with a co-founder, which I would like to present you now. Thank you. So we investigated the existing metaverses that are around. We found several problems that we want to address. First, we found out that they are highly segmented, means that many of these metaverses only focus on one use case and don't provide a holistic approach. So there is a lack of integrated business solutions for different industries. When you look at the usability aspects that are there, you quickly find out that the graphic quality is really, really bad of most of the metaverses out there. You need to install an app, you have long loading times, and or you even need to download something there. And this is also something we want to change. Missing cultural and linguistic adoption. I will come to this later. So how we solve this? First of all, we provide a solution that you don't need to have special hardware. It's VR ready, of course, but you don't need to have goggles. The access is in a web browser. You don't need to download, so it's very simple to use. We provide integrated off-the-shelf templates for different industries, and we provide you consultancy service that you really can have a custom tailored solution for you. On the third pillar, you see that we also provide open world land. You can buy our land, then you have yourself your land. You can build yourself. You can operate something there yourself. Let me give you quickly just a view of the templates that we already have or that we are currently working on. You see that's going from shopping over real estate, showrooms, casino, nightclub, fashion. You also see a short overview of the revenue potential that you have there. Metaverse as a service. So we consult, we build for you. If one of the templates is not really a good fit, then we can really make a custom tailored solution for you. Open world land, what is this? So we provide lands in a metaverse, planet size, geolocated in a near photorealistic way. So you can put your business wherever you want on this planet. The market size, so you can easily understand market size of metaverse is huge and is growing very fast with a rate of 40% or even more per year. The market cap of the competitors are really huge, 1 billion or above. Again, competition overview. If you compare the graphic quality of the sandbox at Decentraland, you easily understand that Aedon is one of the best. We also don't focus on gaming, but on making business in a metaverse. And we think that is quite a point where we are different. Business model and how we go to market. So our business model is B2B and B2B2C. We focus on providing a high quality platform. We already developed a prototype. We have this off-the-shelf templates I showed you before. localization and cultural adoption is possible because it's geolocated. And we're working on AI-driven B2B2C services that will help our businesses in our metaverses. How we make money. It's a pay-per-use approach, and the transaction-based pricing depends on the template, and we provide this metaverse as a service that is, of course, costing something, and we have the opportunity to really make advertisement and sponsorship in our metaverse. Operational roadmap, we are just starting to build a community. We have roughly 4,000 to 5,000 right now. We will go live with a demo this month, and we will go live around June with the sale of the land. We are asking 1.6 million, mainly to scale up a little bit to show and establish really the first traction, and to make sure that we can verify some assumptions that we did in our calculation, and to find partners and to really establish our business. Here is an overview of our team. You see Nadia Steiner, who is co-founder, and we have an international team that is located in Eastern Europe. We have Indonesia, Philippines, and Vietnam on board. So that's it. I hope I gave you an impression. I would be really keen to show you a live demo. Contact me if you would like to have one. Thank you.
Thank you, Claude. Elio, please.
Thank you for the presentation. So your platform is kind of a second life type of project.
You can say like this, with the difference that is much higher quality. You don't need to download or install something. You go in a web browser, and even with a 10-year-old laptop, you can access it in the highest quality possible. Yes, correct.
I see. And I guess as well, that's highly dependent on users. So you don't, because I've seen other projects, the users, they drop down and they don't always, so you will become quite dependent on users.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Let me quickly explain this. Maybe we think that the main reason for dropping or missing users in the current existing metaverses are because you have such a high barrier. You need to install an app. You need to have a download. The graphics is not really where it should be. This is not only blocking the visitors, there's also blocking high brand business to enter this metaverse market, because how you want to sell products, selling is always a visual thing. You need to showcase your product in the highest possible quality, what is currently not really possible. So we think we solve both sides with the same approach.
And one last question.
Yes.
How have you funded the business at the moment? Have you had other investors before? Or?
Yes, that's a good question. We have bootstrapped so far. We developed the prototype ourselves. Bootstrapping family business, if you want to say like this. And we have not raised any capital right now until now. That's our first round.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Claude, let me add one more question.
Sure.
We have been pitched by Metaverse for the last 12 months, maybe without an exaggeration, 100 times.
Yes, I'm sure about that.
And especially where you are in Zug, is such a crypto friendly, metaverse friendly, and blockchain friendly country that I understand even why you are there. And but my question is, there is so much talks around metaverse, but they are so little concrete. Sometimes I'm very much astonished, because in effect, when you translate in reality, there is very little to do yet. Still very little. My question is, in your case, you're allowing project coming to your platform and be developed, right? How easy, if, for example, for someone like me, because you have B2B, but also B2B2C, or for any customer, very early adopter, creating something concrete, and maybe one day, if I want to sell it, it's not that everyone must sell in metaverse. Can be used also for many other reasons. find the right way. Okay, if I can explain myself.
I understand you. Maybe let me first address the first point, why this metaverses are so hard to enter. As we said before, they are highly segmented. So if you have a use case as a business, it's very hard to find a metaverse that is supporting this use case if you don't want to build something yourself. And then if you find one, it's only isolated in this use case. So then you run into the issue that you don't have visitors there because it's so isolated. What we want to provide is an approach really for a wide range of industries and also for the visitors with entertainment. And that's an important factor that really have the attraction of the visitors. So coming back on the second part of your question regarding how easy it will be, you can choose any of the templates that we have or developing, and you just can be live with them within a few hours. And if one of our template is not a good fit, we can adopt this for you. That's a customization service that we provide. So we make it a fit for you. And if it's really out of the box, you need totally something new, we can really make a concept for you and build this within quite a short time frame. So that is quite important. One thing I also want to note is that we are planning to have a marketplace where these templates that we right now construct and build ourselves and give the possibilities to the businesses to use them. But that third parties can come and really build these templates too and monetize themselves, and we will take a tax from this too. So we expect that this market of templates is growing fast, and the more templates we have, the more use cases we can cover, the easier it will be for the businesses to enter the metaverse, the more attractions we have in the metaverse, and the more visitors we will have. Quite a
May I ask
simple
you just
approach.
one more simple question?
Yeah, go
Is
ahead.
it possible, or maybe it's already in the market, I'm not knowledge, having an open source metaverse platform like yours?
There are some approaches in going in this direction, and actually we are not that far away from that approach because we are using as a backend the Unreal Engine. It's from Epic, and actually this is open source. It's not free, don't get me wrong. There is a commercial aspect behind this, of course. The Epic also want to make money, but they are quite tolerant from the business side. So until you reach not 1 million in revenue, you don't need to pay $1 there. And the source is open source, so you can go dig in, you can write extensions. So it's quite an open world that we are living in. But everywhere, some parts are proprietary, of course, and our approach there, the stuff that we put on top, the AI modules and other things, we will not put this open source, at least not at the beginning. Yes.
Thank you, Claude. Please stay with us because we are soon all back.
Well, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm moving out next and last, but absolutely not the least, founder David Brown, founder of Broadbit Batteries, Espoo, Finland, energy storage, green tech, infrastructure, energy infrastructure, euro 3 million in a round. David, how's it going? And thank you so much for coming.
It's going well. Happy to be here.
My pleasure. Our pleasure. Please, if you want to give an introduction to yourself and after go straight to Broadbit Batteries.
Okay, a few words about myself. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Actually, Broadbit is my 6th company. It's my 4th hardware company from concept to production. I've raised and managed close to 50 million euros now. And I've done many different inventions and started different companies in many different fields. I have about close to 300 patents now in various fields. And Broadbit is the most recent, so I'm happy to talk about it. So there you see the first slide is the general thing of what we do. Revolutionary high-performance batteries based on common cheap raw materials. Let's see. Okay, so we now live in a fossil fuel world. We use about 1 kilogram of batteries per person on average around the world. And that's already a $100 billion market today. But we're soon moving to an electrified world with electric vehicles and renewable energies, and that will soon be by the end of the next decade, well over $1 trillion. But there's severe problems to get there. Existing batteries are far too expensive. They're harmful to people and the environment. They're far too slow to charge and inconvenient. They have too low capacity, which for instance means limited range or take up too much space. They're very delicate and have to be operated in a narrow temperature range to survive. And perhaps most important, they're made from limited resources, in particular lithium, cobalt, and nickel. So Broadbit addresses all of these problems in two ways. First, with better, cheaper battery chemistry, and then with better, cheaper battery manufacturing technologies to get better, cheaper batteries, as you can imagine. So we replace all the key components in an existing cell with low-cost, safe, robust, and widely available alternatives. So an existing lithium-ion battery works by a principle called intercalation. That's essentially shoving ions in holes in the cathode and the anode and moving them back and forth. We've invented a battery that operates on a completely different principle. On the cathode side, we have a salt crystal, a sodium salt crystal embedded in a carbon cathode. So we use actually table salt, the cheapest salt you can imagine, as the salt. And then on the anode side, we deposit metallic sodium, much like you would deposit gold on your jewelry. We deposit sodium on the anode surface. And we don't do that until after we assemble the cell. So there's actually no cost to the anode for us. So we don't manufacture an anode at all. There's another cost saving. And then we have an inorganic, a sulfur-based electrolyte. All of this is patented. We have approximately 90 patents in about 9 different families all around the world, and another 5 or so patents in progress covering all of this, and we're very well protected. Our batteries are non-flammable. They cannot catch fire. They have an extremely wide operating temperature range, so you don't have to heat the batteries to use them, and you don't have to cool the batteries to use them, which saves dramatically on battery management, peripheral costs. And because our electrolyte is a so-called ionic liquid, it's not a real liquid, it's ions held closely together. They have extremely high ion mobility, which translates into extremely high power. And our batteries are also made from sustainable and scalable materials, and these are the main materials for our batteries. So table salt, sand, coal, and sulfur, all widely available, environmentally friendly, not controlled by any country or any region, available basically anywhere in the world from local materials. Like lithium ion is a concept, this intercalation is a concept. You can make many different kinds of lithium ion batteries optimized for different applications. It's the same with our technology. We're a platform. We have this concept of crystallization and electrodeposition, and we can optimize for different applications. So we have a high energy version, which is 300 watt hours per kilogram, which is significantly higher than the best lithium ion batteries on the market today. And that's for mobile applications like electric vehicles. We have a high energy efficiency version, which is up to 97% round trip efficiency versus about 90% for today's lithium ion. And that's for things like grid storage, grid stabilization, uninterrupted power supply type applications. And then we have a high power density version, which is a 5-minute charge, 5-minute discharge cell. And that's for things like power tools, drones, and car starter batteries. When you have a new, cheap, widely applicable technology that opens up new markets, we're already working with Airbus for batteries for electric airplane applications. We're working with Yaskawa Electric in Japan for grid applications, and we're working with a company in UK I can't yet name, it's still under NDA, for things like electric car starter batteries to replace the 150-year-old lead acid battery. We're going to market in stages. Initially, already this year, we plan to introduce for niche and specialty products, for onboard units, uninterrupted power supply, and drone applications. Next year, we plan to introduce our very first applications, starting with electric bikes and transportation, and over the years, up the value chain there to trucks, buses, ships, cars, and eventually airplanes. And in the longer term, we'll be introducing our grid storage applications for grid storage and grid stabilization. Our business model is to focus on our magic sauce, which is our battery components and chemistry. So we produce the electrolyte anodes and cathodes in-house, and we ship those to third parties to assemble into battery cells or assemble those battery cells into battery packs. So a customer can either be, for instance, a cell manufacturer who wants to buy our components, or a battery pack manufacturer who wants to buy cells, which we have white label assembled from our components, or an OEM such as an electric vehicle manufacturer who wants to buy a battery pack, and we arrange the value chain for them so they get a battery pack with our technology in it. So we have a very experienced team. I already talked about myself. My co-founder is Andras Kovacs. He's the CTO. He's the original inventor of this technology. This is his second startup. Our CFO is Rika. She's been managing director and financial director of several leading Finnish hardware companies. She has about 25 years experience in managing hardware businesses. And Artem Faustov is our lead chemist. And he's built a lithium-ion manufacturing plant from scratch in his last job. Our advisors include Yrjö Nelvo, who's the former CTO of Nokia. He's the guy who took Nokia from literally a rubber boot company to the world's leading mobile phone manufacturer. And Tapani Arasala, he's famously the smartest guy in Finland. I've been trying to hire him for 4 of my previous companies, but he refused, but he did accept Broadbit batteries. So far, we've raised about 2 million in equity. Our main investor is Yaskawa Electric in Japan, and about 5 million euros in public money from the Finnish government, from the European Space Agency, and most recently from the European Innovation Council. That's an 18.5 million project, of which 2.5 million is grant, 16 million is equity. Income to date, we have about 400,000 euros so far from selling samples, demos, and proof of concept projects. I can name a few of the customers who are public here: Airbus, Kapsch, and Vulcan. We also have leading battery manufacturers, automotive manufacturers, and government customers. We are now looking for 3 million euros in the immediate future. That's for market entry for our first niche applications. And we're looking for 8 million by the beginning of next year. 8 million will come from the EIC, European Innovation Council, and 8 million from other investors. So thank you very much. I'm happy to answer questions.
Thank you so much. Very, very interesting. Elio, please.
Thank you for the presentation. That's very impressive. So do you have a factory at the moment? Where do you assemble?
Is somebody talking? I don't hear anything.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Hello, hello.
You, David?
Okay. Can you hear me now? No? Okay. Let me try.
I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah.
Can you hear me then?
If somebody's asking a question.
Okay. You can hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay.
Okay.
I think David, I think you have some problem with the audio because everyone can hear.
So
Let's try to switch off, switch on.
it's on my side.
Yeah, it is.
All righty. So let's see what I can do. I'll check my
Because we can hear you.
audio. Let's see. Mike, is it the let's try this. Okay, now I can hear. All right.
Can you?
Hear me now?
Yeah, I don't know why my audio was off, but
No problem. That's the beauty of it. Elio, please.
Yeah, I was just saying thank you for the presentation. That's very impressive. I'm assuming you have an assembly plant somewhere.
Yeah, well, it's a manual plant right now. It's very small scale here in Finland. So we only have manual assembly right now, and the investment is to build up our first automated assembly.
Yeah. And that will be based in Finland.
Yeah, the first one will be based in Finland. The second one, who knows?
Okay. And you've mentioned you already had some quite significant funding,
Yes.
and then you are looking for quite a bit more. How do you see the investors having their returns? What's the plan?
What do you mean? How?
Well, if someone is investing 3 million,
Mhm.
how will they make the money back?
Well, I can give, like, for instance, a reference. We have this new technique to produce cathodes. It's a dry cathode production technique. A company in the US called Maxwell Technology has only that technology, not including the battery chemistry technology, the battery assembly technology, all the other technologies we have. They were recently bought by Tesla for close to $1 billion just for that. So add $1 billion to the several more billion for our chemical technologies and battery technology. So,
But you don't have revenue at the moment, do you?
we have very small revenue. We have about 400,000 K so far in revenue from samples and proof of concepts. Not yet repeatable product. We're not yet in production. That's what we're looking for funding for.
Okay. Yeah. And what's the burn rate at the moment?
Right
Per
now,
month?
it's about 30K a month.
Oh, it's very low.
Quite
Okay.
low.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
David, can I just make a couple of questions myself?
Mhm.
The first one, I'm very happy because you are not using the normal materials everyone is using, right? Which is a very political oriented materials. And if you can go through this path, this will be beautiful. Because the one you're using are very much almost everywhere.
Yes.
My question is when I think about battery, I think about duration. And this is my car still is not electric car, but next one will be electric because I can't stand myself when I use my car because I'm still polluting everywhere, and whatever it is the car. And the second is when the batteries die, they can't be used anymore, must go somewhere. Today, there's a massive, massive problem that almost nobody is addressing, but one day will come. And this
Yes.
problem will be huge that nobody will start addressing from now. So, what's your point of view? How yourself, your
Yeah. So
technology, which is
we
absolutely
actually started we started thinking about this technology from that concept. So this actually began with a dinner conversation with my co-founder Andras in about 2011, way before electric vehicles hit the scene in any big way. And we were thinking that, the future is electric vehicles, but the technology for electric vehicles is lithium-ion batteries, and lithium-ion batteries are an environmental disaster. And we need to find a non-environmental disaster way to power electric vehicles. So we actually started with this goal long before we came up with the chemistry. And we literally took out the periodic table of elements and crossed off all the elements that were rare, toxic, difficult to process, limited sources, etc. And we were left with about 20 elements. And we went off and tried to think of a battery chemistry that would work with those. And it took about 2 or 3 years of thinking. And eventually Andras, my partner, came up with this sodium salt concept. So it really did start with that the problem at first and how to solve the problem.
So when your battery, I think it's already producing, but when your battery will be massively produced, can be easily recycled one day.
Yeah, that's actually a funny question because there's no valuable materials in the battery. The most valuable material in the battery is the casing.
Yeah.
So the idea of recycling dirt doesn't make so much sense. So
That's true. Well, instead of talking about recycling, just make sure
so
that
they're disposable in the way that it's sand and dirt and sand and salt and
yeah.
coal. I mean, so the most, it's if you have a metal casing, that's valuable, but the rest is dirt.
What about the duration?
So the reason we are focusing first on these specialty applications now is we don't have extremely long cycle life right now. You're talking about cycle life or capacity?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So we've done, the best we've done is 850 cycles, which is very good, but we've only done that once. We've done many times around 500 cycles, but we're more typically around 300 cycles. 300 cycles is not good enough yet for most applications. So most of our R&D is about getting the cycle life up. We've been able to do that steadily. When we started with around 10 cycles. So and over the years we've increased it steadily, but we still have more work to do on that.
My last one, and after we go because we are very close. In terms of business model, you are, of course, you have your patent license? Are you going to, let's say, lease your technology to others if they want to use it?
We plan on producing components ourselves and then license the other technologies about assembly and the battery. So we want to keep the component production, which is the cheapest part of the whole cell to produce. Very simple. We want to keep that in-house and then license the rest, because that's when we talk about a $1 billion gigafactory, 90% of that cost is in the cell assembly.
Yeah.
So we want to avoid that problem.
Thank you, David. Please stay here because we are all back right now. Okay, let's bring back Patricia, Adam, Claude, and I'm still waiting for the last one. Here we are. So, are we missing one? Adam? No, Adam is in. Patricia is in. David is in. Claude is in. All right, we are all in. So, as we always close, we close with 30-second elevator pitch. So, I want to start from the last and absolutely not the least. Adam, why investing in yourself, first of all, your co-founder, your team, and of course, your venture?
Yeah, well, 1.5 million people every year die due to diabetes, and that's 3 times as many as that dies from smoking. So what we want to do is we want to revolutionize the sugar-free industry by making the perfect sweetener, which get rid of all the issues that is with sugar-free products, and make an easy transition from traditional to sugar-free products that will probably impact millions of people.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you so much for being with us today. Patricia.
Hello, everyone. Again, it's Patricia from Catch Me. Catch Me is an application to monetize the sport talent and give an equal access to the chance across the world, and allowing young talents to access the professional market with a group of already engaged and loyal fans. Our ask today is 100,000 pounds, and that would help scale our business, build an MVP, and change together the sport industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Claude, why investing?
Thank you, Max. Yes, Idle Metaverse will be the next generation B2B and B2B2C metaverse platform that empowers businesses to create innovative and thrive in the virtual world. We are quite sure that right now is the right time for a high quality metaverse. And we are really sure that our technology is bringing this to a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Claude. David, please close today.
Sure. The world is moving from fossil fuel based to electrified. Existing battery technology cannot enable that transition due to all sorts of problems with lithium-ion batteries from production to end of life. And Broadbit Battery addresses all those problems and literally enables the coming electrification of society. And if you want to be part of it, you better invest now.
Thank you so much, David. David, Patricia, Claude, and Adam, thank you so much for being with us today. Elliot, thank you very much again to yourself as well to helping us today to go through all the questions and enhance the talk of founders. I really thank you all the audience, and I see you next Thursday. We go live again on Thursday, 5 p.m. UK time, with other 5 founders. And thank you again to everyone, and see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting us. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Bye for now.